A deal between Governor Dan Malloy and the state employee unions has imploded. You know about that. Now there's a $700 million hole to fill. How's he going to fill it? You don't know about that. That thing is fluid. We tape Wednesday. We air online Thursday. We're on TV Saturday. Chris Keating, Matt O'Connor. Guys, where are we? The governor is threatening to lay off or to eliminate 6,500 jobs. He's talking now about taking more control of the pension language. What's happening here?
Well, there is a lot going on. Some of the layoff notices should be going out by the time this airs. But the governor really does not want to lay people off. But basically, since as you mentioned, the union deal imploded, we're talking about a $700 million gap in the first year of the fiscal year, which started Friday, July 1st.
Big money.
Big money, $700 million, and that's why we're in this problem.
Man, I got to ask you, when I first read the story, all due respect, I said, gee, is this an indictment on union leadership? You guys were able to sell it to a good chunk of your rank and file, but not to a small percentage. Did you feel like, as union leaders, we didn't get the job done here?
Well, Stan, quick point, and it's just that the agreement has not been passed under CBAC's very strict rules. A majority of state workers who cast their votes voted in favor of the agreement, 57%.
Right, 80% with the threshold to pass, right?
There are two thresholds. One is an 80%. The other is 14 out of 15 unions.
Okay.
11 out of 15 unions voted yes.
All right, so you would argue you got the majority, that you did your job, but it was that other faction that you, because of the language, didn't get it done.
There are a number of factors, and right now we're looking at solutions, what we can do to be a part of, as Chris said, closing this budget gap. It shouldn't fall completely on the backs of the members of our unions. Middle-class workers and their families shouldn't bear the whole burden, but we understand we have a role to play, and so we're looking for ways we can do that.
Were the folks who voted yes being selfish?
I would say that the folks who voted...
who voted no being selfish. Folks who turned it down.
No, I think that the folks who voted no were expressing their free choice and exercising their democratic voice in the process. The ratification, which took place over a couple of weeks, was an opportunity for members to say yes or no on the agreement. We know that many were provided misinformation, some deliberately by outside forces who wanted to see the agreement defeated, and some of it was legitimate confusion. And yes, there were a fair number, we've heard from them in the past several days, who simply said this agreement is not right for me. They have every right to express that choice because it is, after all, a personal choice that they make when they vote. Not
a lot of sympathy out there for unions, so if there's a way to fill a $700 million gap, give us two right now, Matt, that you would say, okay, here are two things you can do off the bat that would save significant money.
Well, one in particular would be to support the State Contracting Standards Board and make sure that we don't go back in the same direction that the state was heading under Governors Rowland and Rell, which was simply to contract out to profit-motivated private consultants those public services that are best provided by the accountable state workforce. And we know that that's a proposal that may be considered tomorrow, Thursday, in the legislature.
Save real money?
Oh, absolutely.
How much money are we talking about?
Well, just for example, in the case of inspecting bridges in the Department of Transportation, we found last summer that the state was spending twice as much to have private companies come in and look at Metro North Railroad bridges down in the southern part of the state. That's tremendous savings. We're talking about $25 million just in that one example.
One point here to mention, Governor Malloy, whose patience may be running a little bit thin anyway, said that there's some people in the world think they're the only ones in the world who can run a snowplow, and they may be finding out soon that there's other people who know how to do that too.
Ouch. Okay, let's talk about Dan Malloy now doing a bit of a power play, using this thing as leverage, saying, you know what, I want a stronger hand on the pension play, right? When he's talking about vacation days and sick days, is he going to get it, Chris? Will he get this power play?
What he wants, the biggest thing that he wants is extra budget-cutting authority, which would basically be unprecedented in the state history.
Right?
Extraordinary, right. He's talking up to 10% of any particular fund or $45 million on a particular line item. So, in other words, the Democrats will tell you that Rowland did have this power. Rowland did, but on a much, much smaller basis. The most that Rowland could have cut was $35 million. It was extremely temporary. So what Malloy is asking for is above and beyond what any other governor has had.
15 seconds. How will that help? Matt, in favor or against that?
Anything that involves job cuts in an economy right now that is still struggling to revive itself would be a disaster for Connecticut.
Prediction. Again, by the time this thing it goes on,
elections are tough.
Yes, they are tough. They are tough. But I'll tell you that the leaders of our unions are very confident that we're going to reach a mutual agreement that the members will support. We're going to get there.
That would avoid saving job cuts.
Absolutely. We're going to find a way to keep state workers working on the job and providing valuable services to the people of Connecticut.
All right, we'll have you back on, guys. This thing is a moving target, right? Thanks for your time. Chris Keating, Matt O'Connor.
Thanks, Dan.
Folks, I want to thank all our guests here at the Stan Simpson Show. Don't forget, you can catch our show 24/7 at ctnow.com/Stan and check out exclusive behind-the-scenes video of the show. Friend us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. For the good folks here at Fox Connecticut, I'm Stan Simpson. The morning news is next.